Hello, everyone. Welcome to Steve Rosenfield's stand-up comedy workshop show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. What you are going to see tonight is a company of stand-up comedians who have trained together in a workshop conducted by award-winning comedy director, founder of the American Comedy Institute, and author of the book Mastering Stand-Up, the great Steve Rosenfield. So again, thank you so much for joining us. We have an incredible lineup of comics, and we also have many comics making their stand-up debut for you tonight. So just to tell you a little bit about the workshop, comedians who have trained in this workshop have gone on to perform on The Tonight Show, Gotham Comedy Live, Saturday Night Live, Conan O'Brien, The Late Show, and they perform in comedy clubs all over the world and the best clubs all over the country. So we're very excited to see how these guys do tonight. They're so excited. I'm so excited. I'm your host, by the way. My name is Micaela, and I'm just gonna start by asking, please help me. I've been stuck in a 55 and over community with my parents for months now. I fall asleep every night knowing I'm the only fertile woman in at least a mile. So if this becomes a situation where we have to like repopulate the earth, there's gonna be a line of old men knocking down my door. And I'm scared. I've already kind of like established the parameters of the competition in my mind though. So like only those with active driver's license can apply. And then there's gonna be like a jitterbug competition just to establish their personal style and endurance. And then a bocce ball tournament to the death. I will procreate with the lone victor. So I need to get back to New York quick or else things aren't gonna end well for the men in this neighborhood. I am gay though. I've been out to my parents for several years now, and they're at the point of acceptance where not only do they think it'd be cool for me to date a woman, they don't understand why I can't date any woman. They're like, what about that one? I'm like, okay, yeah, she's not gay. Like, they don't seem to understand that. It's surprising to them. I jokingly complain like I'm no closer to dating a Rockette than I was a couple years ago. And my dad honestly was like, have you talked to a Rockette? I'm like, Dad, okay, like statistically, maybe one of them is gay, but also statistically, they're all professional dancers over the height of 5'9". Like, I don't think they're gonna be falling backwards toy soldier style to go out with a 4'8" comedian. It's just not the way the world works. So they have a lot to learn. Growing up, I never really related to the princesses in the Disney movies. I far more related to like the woodland creatures in the sea plot, like the chubby food motivated chipmunks, the fat mice. Like I am Gus Gus. That's what I wanted to be. That made sense to me. Like I'm that mouse who like is carrying too many corn kernels back to its hole and they keep popping out like a Pez dispenser, or while the other mice are like constructing a garment, sewing a bow or something, I'm napping on a hunk of Swiss cheese as a pillow. I could be the object of the prince's affections, or I could be the object of the palace cat's obsession. And I think that's more fun. You know, it's a complicated relationship, but they'll never catch me. So I feel like that chipmunk sometimes. My anxiety has been really on overdrive for like the past 10 years, like 10 years. But I found a way to alleviate it. I like to sing in the shower, but not just any song. I like to kind of put my anxieties into those songs. So my roommates are a little bit concerned because I do put on this concert for them every night. All right, this one goes out to all the beautiful people who died in this apartment before I moved in. I don't want to close both eyes, even when I wash my face, 'cause I'm scared of you, and I know you're gonna murder me. I get scared. Or when I'm shaving my legs and I'm like, don't cut yourself intentionally. It's only okay accidentally. You took an ibuprofen and the water is hot, but that doesn't mean your blood won't clot. You've never had problems with clotting. I have to remind myself of that, like on the daily. I don't know why. And then at the end of your shower, when I'm like, the hair that fell out is a normal amount of hair. This is a normal amount of hair. You don't have alopecia, you don't have lupus, and you've never had chemo because you don't have cancer. Holy crap. You probably do. There's really no way to know if you don't. Thank you all so much. My name's Micaela. I'm so excited to bring this amazing lineup of comics to you. The first comedian is performing all the way from Thousand Oaks, California. Please give a nice warm welcome to Michelle Malizaki.
Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm Michelle Marizaki. Yay! Oh my gosh. My mother-in-law passed away recently. And I got inheritance. I'm set for life. I got 10 baskets. My hands are not big. These are itty bitty baskets. I'm set for life for the baskets. Oh, why are you admiring my hands? My hands are famous. They are TikTok famous. I have a viral video of my hands wrapping a gift with 4.4 million views. When I show my face, I get 20 views. No face, no talking, 4.4 million views. And people leave meanest comments like boring, pathetic, idiot. Now I know how Gwyneth Paltrow feels. When I was growing up in Japan, I used to watch a lot of American TV shows, and I was really impressed because everybody spoke Japanese. Even the kid actors. My favorite TV show was Bewitched. In that TV show, I learned that in America, women could be a thing. That's not possible in Japan. So when I was like 12 years old, I was determined to come to America to someday become a housewife. Samantha made housewifing look so easy. All you have to do is wiggle your nose. My nose is bigger than when I was 12 years old, but I still can't get anything done. In America, a lot of people use nicknames for business and they are very successful. That's impossible in Japan. That's unthinkable in Japan. Like Bill Gates, it's William Gates. Jeff Bezos, it's Jeffrey. Elon Musk, I think his first name is elongated. As when I applied for a visa to come to America, I was really offended because they asked me for my given name. All my names are given. Or do they think I stole my name? As you may suspect it, Michelle is not my real name. My first name is Hisako. But when I came to America, people used to make fun of my name, calling me, "Hey you, Hisako, my dick." I was like, dick? What's dick? It was not in my dictionary. And later on, I did find out. Oh my gosh, how impolite. Dick? It should have been Richard. I bought a smart fridge. It's Samsung. It's Korean. And it speaks 19 different languages. but it doesn't speak Japanese. It speaks Slovenian. Slovenia has 2.3 million people. Japan, 127 million. I know this because the fridge told me. I bought a racist fridge. And fridge scans everything inside and knows what's in it. I started buying things just to impress my fridge. This morning, the fridge asked me if I consumed all of the yogurt. It's accusing me of stealing my own food. And also, it told me if I don't eat kale by 10 p.m. tonight, it will expire. That racist fridge is threatening me. My fridge has my phone number and email, and when I go out of the house, it tracks me down. When I was at the grocery store the other day, it texted me. It says, buy hummus. I'm allergic to hummus. That Korean fridge is trying to kill me. In old days, people were the ones who used to harass the appliances. When it made noise, you just yell at it and then give it a karate chop. Now I have to beg my fridge, would you please, please, please stop sending those pictures of meal that I could make with the stuff in my fridge to my family? My kids were happy with hamburger helpers before, but now it's asking me to make penne alla bolognese. On my TikTok, I got another comment that I couldn't read. So of course I asked my fridge, and sure enough, it was in Slovenian. It says Tristo Masesto Patruk. In Slovenia, that means he sucked my dick. How rude. Well, I'm Michelle Marizaki, and thank you so much, and have a great night. Thank you.
Michelle Malizaki. I've never heard better arguments to go back to ice boxes. You know, whatever happened to an ice box? Thanks, Michelle. That was great. Your next performer coming to the screen. He's a wonderful friend, such a funny guy. Please welcome, all the way from Cambridge, Massachusetts, Isa O'Neill.
Thank you. If there's one word I'd use to describe Joe Biden, it would be charisma. I felt he was peering into my soul when he said, and I quote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women are created by, you know, the thing." Who couldn't be excited by that? And I think he's going to bring this country back together, even the South. In a campaign speech he gave, he confused his wife with his sister. I think a lot of Southern evangelicals can relate to that. The one time I was nervous about Joe Biden was when he announced his new campaign slogan on ABC News. The dignity of country, the dignity of people, treating our people with dignity. And this god-awful, deliberate division that is being taken in order, separating people. It's a great slogan, but trust me, it can't fit on a hat. I hope Joe Biden realizes that immigration is still a big issue. Mexicans are coming here from Puerto Rico and Honduras. And if we just let all the immigrants in, the next thing you know, America will become a nation of immigrants. And my father did not come here all the way from Europe for this nation to be overrun by immigrants. I was looking at the TV guide, and I saw that on a Lifetime Original channel, the following movies were to be played back to back: Psycho Nurse, Psycho Prom Queen, Psycho Ex-Girlfriend, Psycho BFF, Psycho Party Planner, Psycho Granny. I just want to commend the Lifetime Original channel for its commitment to mental health education. I'm back in college over Zoom at full price. I think they should be charging me extra. It's the most fun I've ever had in college. I love the new rules our professors have made to make sure we're paying attention in class. One professor grades us based on how many questions we ask. I like to ask, could you please repeat that? And what exactly do you mean by a 10-page paper? I'm pretty sure I'm going to get an A in his class. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty worried about the Insane Clown Posse. They have a song called Miracles, and one lyric from that song is, "Fucking magnets, how do they work?" And another lyric is, "I don't want to talk to no scientist. Y'all motherfuckers be lying and getting me pissed." And I think that's a real shame. If they don't talk to no scientist, how will they figure out how those fucking magnets work? Recently, my mother and father pulled me aside to tell me that they were getting a separation. And I guess I should have seen this coming. One time my mother rented her own place, and I asked her why, and she told me she needed an office. And I said, but you teach third grade. My parents always told me that when my father got a semester off for a sabbatical, they would explore the world. And they did. My father went to Hong Kong and my mother to Canada. After that, they started doing more things apart, like their anniversary parties. But, they were just very different people. My mother is a typical, middle American mom. She watches Rachel Maddow while drunk on wine. She cooks with kale. She eats avocado toast. She describes herself as a Reagan Democrat. She thinks it's cool to incorporate Yiddish expressions into her speech, even though she's Irish. And I think it's a matter of time before she starts finding my jokes offensive. Especially this joke. And my father is very unique. He has his own outlook on life. When I was young, he pulled me aside and said, "Isa, there's something special about you, something unique. You need to stop it." When I was in high school, I told him that I was having trouble getting a date. And he said to me, "Duh, you have been an above average audience. Thank you."
Isa O'Neill. Great job, Isa. Your next comic coming to the screen is performing from Los Angeles, California, and his comedy talk show called Lunch Therapy just celebrated their 200th episode. So please give it up for the very funny Joel Marshall.
All right. I'm from Seattle. A lot of people think people from Seattle are so nice. Not really. You know how little kids, when they're asked what they want to be when they grow up, they always give an answer of what they see every day. Like fireman, policeman, garbage man. Well, at my elementary school, most of us said serial killer. Yeah, I mean, you can't start a conversation in Seattle and say, did you hear about that serial killer? You'd be like, are you referring to the freeway killer, the boxcar killer, the happy face serial killer, the stamp collector serial killer? Yeah, he only killed stamp collectors. As if their life isn't bad enough. Or there was the starvation killer. She was a woman, and she killed rich people. They would hire her to put them on a diet, and she would starve them to death. At least they died happy, right? So slender. And then there was the hillside strangler. In fairness, he killed people in California, but he knew where to retire. Seattle. Great opportunities to teach. And you know, Ted Bundy went to my college. Yeah, and to put this in context, to this day, if you mention Ted Bundy, everyone who knew him at my school says, oh, Ted, he was so nice. Yeah, and in the state of Washington, if you had the death sentence, you could choose to be hanged. Yeah, there's only one other state with that option. Does anybody know what that is? If you're thinking Texas, you're really not thinking clearly here. You know, have you learned nothing from this? You got to think. What is the other state where people are nice? No, it's not Vermont. That's, not a socialist state, a real American state. It's New Hampshire. Yeah. I mean, I thought they were really nice. And I remember thinking about all this, and I always wondered, when they put that noose around your neck and they drop the floor out, is there a split second where you're like, wow, that really fixed my back? It's been very isolating here in this quarantine, and I miss human contact, and I want to be around a community of people. Is anybody else feeling like that? So I'm thinking of joining a cult. Is there anybody else out there in a cult? Anybody? They're online now. Yeah, I was in a cult years ago, but they kicked me out. The guru was up there and he was like, and now I'm going to reveal to you the secret to life. Marshall? Are you playing Tetris again? Get out! Out! No, out! So apparently I don't have the discipline. I don't have the work ethic to be a cult disciple. So I'm thinking maybe I'm a cult leader. Yeah, I mean, I got the look, right? And I'm totally comfortable with public speaking. And I think the big challenge for me is that I've got nothing to say. Yeah, so I've been looking for help online. But there is no cult leader instructional stuff. Nothing. Masterclass.com doesn't have it. I tried LinkedIn to see if maybe there's a ghost cult speechwriter out there. Nothing. Yeah, I looked at the University of Phoenix. They have no courses on being a cult leader. Can you believe it? I mean, I thought they were preparing students for today's economy. So I've heard a lot of cult leaders got their start as yoga instructors. They become kind of yoga gurus. But I don't think I can do that. I'm not flexible enough. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd get much of a following if I was up there, okay, everybody, now we're going to bend over and touch the top of our thighs. I just don't think it's going to work. So I've got this friend, and he's trying to help me out. He says, starting a cult, Joel, is like starting a small business. You've got to know who your target audience is. Who is your target audience? And I said, I don't know. Someone like me? And he said, okay, perfect. Losers and failures. And I said, I think that's a bit harsh. And he was like, no, you don't understand. That is a huge, huge plus. It is? I mean, man, that's the biggest target audience there is. All you got to say is, I understand and I can fix it. I mean, how do you think Trump got elected? So, he's really got me charged up about this. So if everybody could just put their broken dreams in the chat room down there, I will fill your gaping hole of desire. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing sexual. No way. In a cult that comes later. Namaste.
Namaste, Joel Marshall. Joel, the minute you can touch your toes, I'm joining your cult. Okay, here's your challenge. Your next comic coming to the screen is performing all the way from very chilly New York City. So excited to have her. Please give it up for Kathy Neville Brown.
Sometimes good things come out of bad situations. I had to have some radiation a while back. I loved it. 6 weeks, got rid of all my nipple hair. No more tweezing or keeping the lights down low in intimate situations. Oh, and the radiation killed off all the cancer cells. Bonus! I was in Dunkin' Donuts this morning, and this sexy, young, muscled guy who works there said to me, "What would you like, dear?" What would I like, dear? So I told him, "I'd like you to slap me on the ass and call me your bitch." He said, "That's what you want?" I said, "Yeah, that and a hot latte with whole milk, no sugar." Now that my son is 28, I feel like we are really bonding. I was driving him to work the other day, and this gorgeous woman jogged in front of us. My son said, "Sweet ass." And I was like, "That's tight. All of it." We're like this now. I don't have much authority over my adult sons. We sat down to dinner and my son had no shirt on. Well, I asked him to put on a t-shirt, but he just ignored me and kept eating. So I took off my shirt. He ran upstairs and came back down fully dressed. I said, "Oh, that's fine. You can take off the scarf, the tie, the sweater, and the sports jacket." My father called me screaming, "Kathy, your mother is dying in a bed." I was more confused than alarmed by that. Was he upset that she was dying in a bed and not a chair? Or was he upset that she was dying? Because she's been doing that for the past 35 years. I tried to be empathetic. "Oh my God, what kind of bed? Is it a Serta, silly Posturepedic, or one of those memory foam ones?" And then I said, "Oh, Dad, I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I know she's allergic to those." And then I asked him, "What? Are you sure she's dying? What hospital is she in?" "New York Presbyterian." "Oh, that's good. Because she really didn't like dying at Bellevue or at White Plains Hospital. And she hated dying in Montefiore in the Bronx. But when she was dying at Greenwich Hospital, she liked that, very upscale." My dad got so mad. He said, "This is not funny, Kathy. She's really dying this time." And I said, "How do you know for sure?" And he said, "Because she keeps telling me over and over and over again. She won't shut up about it." I tried to pray for my mother. Although, what is the point of praying to an omniscient God if he already knows everything? Dear God, this is, well, of course you know who this is. I don't pray to you often and ask you for things, you know that, but who's keeping score? Oh, you are. Well, it's about my, yeah, her again. You're not ready to take her? That's about the consensus down here too. Crazy is not new in my family. When my sister-in-law was having her first baby, I let her borrow my beautiful high-end Bellini crib. Well, she used it And then she just gave it to some random cousin without even asking me. I was so mad, I called her up and said, Lisa, I cannot believe you did that. I would call you a cunt, but you lack the depth and the warmth. Thank you so much for your love, laughter, and warmth this evening. Stay safe, everyone.
Kathy Neville Brown. I've never heard that before. That's hilarious. I can't repeat the word, but I'll never think of it the same way again. Your next comic coming to the screen is performing from Santa Rosa, California. Please give it up for Mitchell Norton.
Thank you very much. So I just got back from vacation. Went to DC and it was pretty cool. Made some new friends. Took a very interesting tour of the Capitol. I even came home with a few souvenirs. I got a new podium. Sorry, some zip ties and a kind of a pesky cough. But really, I was just kind of surprised at the crowds this time of year. Very busy. Of course, I am joking, unless, of course, you followed me on Parler. But I feel like Donald Trump has brought us all down a notch, including me. I actually added this to my bucket list, item number 45. Take poop on Donald Trump's grave. Yeah, he's not even dead yet. I don't even know when I'm going to cross that off. I was so wrapped up in this idea that I told my girlfriend about it. She immediately was like, Mitch, no, you cannot do that. That is terrible. You could get arrested. What you need to do is dehydrate the poop, make it into a powder, put on a Trump 2024 shirt, walk by the grave and just kind of go like a poop fairy, walk away. It's the perfect crime. I have never loved her more than in that moment. So we're engaged. We haven't set a date yet, but I can tell you that the ceremony is going to be at Arlington National Cemetery, and there is no need to bring rice. You will be provided with something to throw. There's a saying, we don't inherit the earth from our ancestors, but borrow it from our children. Isn't that beautiful? But I don't have any children. So I'm borrowing the earth from your children. And if your children are anything like my nieces and nephews, they really don't deserve polar bears. Global warming is serious, but it's got such a dumb name. Doesn't sound serious at all. We warm up. So what? I warm up stuff all the time. Pastries, leftovers, nothing bad ever happens. But does everyone know what SIDS is? Yeah, everyone knows what SIDS is, even if you don't have children, because it's got a horrifying name. Sudden Infant Death Syndrome, for those that were unaware. And SIDS kills less than 0.5% of all the children born. So global warming has a branding problem. Let's start calling it what it is. Sudden Everyone Death Syndrome. And I don't get why people shave their pubes into shapes or styles. No one in the history of anything has been about to have sex and said, whoa, nice pubes. Can we just, I need a minute. I just kind of want to admire the situation down here. That's like getting to the front of the line at the hottest new club in town and complimenting the bouncer on the admission ropes. Like, whoa, are those velvet? No, I can wait to go in. I want to talk about your design choices here. So I'm bald. My biggest issue with it is that my appearance doesn't reflect who I am on the inside. On the inside, I have like long, flowing, sensitive surfer guy hair. It's my spirit hair, if you will. Sorry, sometimes it gets in my eyes. But a shaved head is so aggressive. And I have to have this like unhairstyle because all my alternatives are worse. You can try and get laid with a stringy comb over. I'm not going there. But I don't want to be the aggressive guy. I don't want you to believe me when I tell you that I stormed the Capitol. So when I'm out at night and I'm walking up behind someone in the dark, I try to put them at ease. So I do the most threatening, non-threatening thing a grown man can do. I pretend to play Pokemon. No one thinks they're about to be murdered by a man who just said, oh, look, a Squirtle, Pokeball. A child growing up in the US is more likely to have a pet than a live-at-home father. And you know, kind of wish that my dad was a dog. Would have been so much easier to get his approval. Just like, hey, Dad, got really bad grades, but who's a good boy and wants a treat? I've been reading Marie Kondo. She's a Japanese tidying expert. Her motto is, if it doesn't spark joy, throw it out. I don't think that's really realistic, though. There's certain joyless things you just can't get rid of, like genital herpes and your grandpa's ashes. If my girlfriend followed this advice, I would be in huge trouble. The only things left in the house would be a DVD box set of the Gilmore Girls, the cat, and a dildo. Thank you very much. You guys have been great.
Mitchell Norton. Hey, your girlfriend has wonderful taste. Those are the three things I'd bring to a deserted island. You know, I guess I'd need a DVD player too, but pretty close. Fourth thing would be a DVD player. Your next comic coming to the screen is making her stand-up comedy debut. She is performing from Topeka, Kansas. Please give it up for the very funny Jay Patterson.
Hi. My husband recently got a hearing aid. And these new ones are incredible. They're so little, you can't even tell if somebody's wearing them. And the technology, also really incredible. The only problem is, Denny refuses to wear them. They're so small, I hadn't noticed. I just thought our conversations were just a little more unusual than normal. I asked him to buy me some Wavy Lay's potato chips when he went to the store. He brings me home Sara Lee cinnamon bread. I'm like, what? Bread? I asked you to bring me Wavy Lay's potato chips. Well, of course, he didn't want to admit that he didn't hear me. So he goes, oh, I guess I didn't understand. I said, like what? Wavy? You know I'm gluten-free, and you know I don't need that bread. Well, he goes, I'm sorry. I just didn't know she was available. I said, if you want me to be available, Denny, then you better put in those fucking hearing aids. I don't know if you know this, but Jennifer Lopez really needs us to know that she doesn't use Botox. I wish I could tell her that it's okay, because no one gives a shit. I don't like round things in my food. My friend made me some chicken salad. So as I began to eat, I come across a grape in my salad. I'm like, oh, and I push it aside. And she said, you don't like the chicken salad? And I said, I just don't like round things in my food. And I said, I really don't like anything round in my mouth. Denny pops up and goes, I can attest to that. Denny. I saw on Yahoo that John Legend's wife, Christy Teigen, has quit drinking for a month. She might even write a book about it. I think if you can write a book for something that you haven't done for a month, I could write a book called My Life as a Virgin. It really annoys me when the TV weathermen act like they have this big secret. You'll have to wait until after the news to hear our report. It's not like I have the code for a nuclear weapon. It's raining. I just want to know, when is it going to stop? I'm a late boober. I got these things in my 40s. And by then, what is the point? These things are 40 triple Ds. They just really get in my way. I play 18 holes of golf. I'm all sweaty, it's hot. I go into the clubhouse and both boobs are stuck underneath my left arm. But they can be dangerous. I judged a high school debate, and both my boobs accidentally smacked two boys that were just sitting there. Let me tell you, they were delighted. I'm so glad my old friends, my new friends, my puppies are here tonight. Thank you so much.
Yay, Jay Patterson's stand-up comedy debut. Jay, I was at that debate tournament, and one of those boys was me, and I thank you. Thank you very much. You're a wonderful judge. You ranked me first, I think. Your headliner tonight is a wonderful comedian. He is performing all the way from Buffalo, New York. Very cold over there, too. Please give it up for my friend, Gian Miso.
Yo, thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Give it up for everybody else, even though you can't give it up. This was an amazing show, man. Thank you. I wish I had that confidence I had when I was 4 years old, greeting every stranger in public like, hi, hi, hi. My favorite planet is Jupiter. After watching the inauguration, I'm still convinced most politicians are just grown-up versions of me at 4 years old. Hi, hi, hi. Vote for me because my favorite planet is Jupiter. And when my mom found out that she was pregnant with me, she tells my dad, listen, Raul, we don't love each other. I'm going to raise this kid by myself. You don't have to pay any child support. I got this. My mom's never smoked crack, but she has crackhead confidence. That was a crackhead deal. Like I came into this world like a $45 stolen MacBook Pro. Unfortunately, you can't collect disability for being born a crackhead deal baby. My dad took the crackhead deal. Raul's good luck barometer is at 100%. He moves away from my mom who lives in New Orleans. He starts a new beautiful family in Mississippi. He doesn't talk about his firstborn son to his new family or his old family or his family while in a lucid dream state. No family knows. No real family, no fake family, no deep fake family, no friends and family allowed. Raul avoids serving any baby time. One day, Raul's with his family on vacation in New Orleans. He's at City Park pushing his son on the swing set, who's swinging next to this kid. Now, these two kids look pretty similar. That's because Raul is both of their father. Talk about crackhead deal odds. This was a totally random encounter that felt like an awkward episode of Maury Meets Practical Jokers. Imagine buying a $2,399 MacBook Pro for $45 off a crackhead. Then 7 years later, that crackhead comes back to say, let me introduce you to your son. Raul's good luck barometer plunges to 50%. Boop, 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 boop. It stops at 50% because under section 37B of the crackhead deal, it states quite clearly Raul doesn't have to pay any child support still. That's how I met my dad, Raul, and my half-brother, Paul, and my stepmom, Tonita, who after introductions freaks out because she was at the top of Raul's no friends and family allowed to know about the firstborn son list. Tonita finds out that her and I are both Scorpios. She then freaks out. Raul, don't you know how Scorpios work? We seek revenge at a very high level. If you don't make things right and pay child support, this kid is going to kill you. Pay child support. Now Raul's good luck barometer is negative 31%. Because I'm 31 years old, my man Raul still pays child support because of Tonita. I have more unexpected child support checks than America got stimulus checks. If Tonita was the first lady during 2020, we would have gotten a lot more stimulus checks. Donald, if you don't give them stimmy checks every month. So my dad was born and raised in Peru, and they say Peru is like the France of Latin America. Now, I've been lucky enough to go to Peru and France, so I could see that. In Peru, Everybody was making out everywhere at every time because, like the French, they don't give a fuck. The French and Peruvian cultures historically have always been really into love. And you think that if Peruvians are just as famous for romance as the French, that they would have their own kiss. But I'm pretty sure from what I saw down there that a Peruvian kiss is just a sloppy blowjob. Peru's most popular tourist attraction is an ancient city up in the Andes Mountains. It's called Machu Picchu. And one of the reasons why Machu Picchu is so popular is because the lighting up there is perfect for selfies. That Machu Picchu lighting will boost up your fuck rate. Your Fitbit will be going off. Oh shit, ever since I made my Tinder profile picture, me in front of Machu Picchu, my fuck rate boosted up 7.25 points. So I learned while visiting Peru, if you grow up in a traditional Latin American household, you're gonna have a childhood filled with ass whoopings. I was fortunate that my mom, Deborah, a white Democrat from Buffalo, New York, did not believe in ass whoopings, but I do think if I've gone through a childhood filled with ass whoopings, I'd be a much better dancer. Because I saw some ass whoopings down in Peru to these kids that were making these moves like, that's gotta be how the samba was invented. Thank you guys so much. You are all so awesome for doing this, for being a part of this. We love you. Thank you. Good night.
Gian Miso, and what he said, we love you, thank you. And Gian, I have to compliment your whole look really quick because I mean, I just watched The Godfather, so maybe it's stuck in my head, but if The Godfather was like an indie movie, you'd play Al Pacino, baby. You look like Michael Corleone in a very fun hipster jacket. I love it. Thank you guys so much for watching our show. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. If you want to try stand-up comedy, if you love making people laugh, do it. It's so fun. And you can do it at the American Comedy Institute with Steve Rosenfield because our workshops are entirely online. So no matter where you live in the world, you can be part of our happy family here. And we look forward to having you. Our next workshop starts on February 9th. So visit comedyinstitute.com to learn more and sign up. And we'll see you soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.